These are LA's win conditions. That's it. So any municipal breakaways, Glendale just canceled its ICE contract. That's precedent because every city that follows turns protests into a policy cascade. So the goal is just to turn LA into the first domino, and it puts public pressure on Santa Ana, Long Beach, etc. to follow suit. The second win condition is any public moral awakening. NPR Time to finally portraying protesters as concerned citizens and not just rioters. The goal is just to keep centering family stories, detain workers, union arrests, and make the morality too heavy to ignore because the public is starting to distinguish between federal cruelty and local compassion. The third win condition is lawsuits and oversight. So California's AG, their Attorney General Rob Bonta, just sued over unauthorized federal enforcement, right? Back this lawsuit with mass mobilization. This turns any narrative into legal leverage, but also cross-city solidarity. So San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, Houston, they all had their spin-off protests. If a synchronizing message emerges out of this, 5 to 7 cities chanting the same demand at the same time, it'll overwhelm the federal media control immediately. But there's key risks. And we're going to go through those too. There is currently no unified demand. In the raids is vague. That is not going to work. Protect sanctuary cities by law. That's a little better. Abolish ICE is polarizing. We need to be concerned about the message. Movements without demands become media spectacles without memory. Any rally that is behind winnable asks like emergency citywide ICE moratorium, that's a way to fix that. That's the way to rally behind that. Because that's something better to say than in the raids. Emergency citywide ICE moratorium. See what I mean? Get that narrative together. Then here's our other risk. Violent optics do persist. Like really bad. Burning cars, highway blocks, tactical gear versus flag bearers. The medium turns the just cause into a chaotic image of fear and disruption. So visual peace with narrative cohesion is necessary, right? Narrative precision, visual peace, protest art, grandmothers on the front lines, cultural symbols of peace. There's a way things need to look. This is what I mean by the narrative warfare. But here's another thing. So Trump frames the protest before the protest framing itself is a major risk. He's already calling it an uprising, open border insurrection, and seditious. So they see that as a test of strength, not justice. So if the story is about control, he wins. So the only way out of that kind of thing is to reclaim the stage, publicly framing it as a moral emergency, not even a political one. Turn this into the next George Floyd level infliction by showing its human stakes, legal violations, and constitutional breach. Now, here's one of those things I want to say to black people. Our grief has already been militarized. They've already targeted us enough. We don't need to send our support, like physically, on the ground. No. But they will come for us with this method. This is very key to watch. Very key to watch and to document. Please pay attention here. This is not, even though the stay out of it side is what I agree on, it is important to document what their tactics look like. It really is. But here's the other risk. Any type of movement fragmentation. Because without visible leadership or a unified communication, even internal allies are unsure what just even comes next out of this. So local energy won't translate into national momentum. We need a rotating spokesperson like faith leaders, union reps, dreamers, just any morning brief. Just open up. You don't need permission. Just open up in the morning, just talking about the situation yourself. It doesn't even matter if it has views. We need documentation. That's the big thing. This literally needs to be psychological jujitsu. We need to use their spectacle against them, humanize faster than they can militarize, and render the invisible visible in this case. The messaging also needs to be a lot stronger because they need to be like, we're not radicals. We are mothers, workers, neighbors, trying to protect our homes from the federal aggression, and you don't need to agree with our politics to see that our humanity is being violated. That's real, right? Because we need to stay in an anchor place. This is about LA, not DC. Okay, emotion over ideology, center immigrant stories, children's drawings, elders testifying, and literally frame ICE as an uninvited foreign force in a city that never gave consent. We're at war with the camera. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to get. We're at war with the camera. It has nothing to do with anything going on over there. It's not even in the best spot. Like the whole riot, not even in the best spot. But the camera's vulnerable. So any public altars for detained families, candlelight visuals overpowering riot gear, Important. Any mothers in prayer circles versus soldiers, a haunting inversion. Important. Any legal observers in neon vests, non-violence made hyper-visible. Important. Drone footage of peaceful marchers being surrounded to trap the state in its own excess. That's the way to do this, right? The thing is that people got to understand that we also have to have a refusal to flinch. So his whole game is to escalate until we react destructively. That's basically the whole game. So win at this game. Disciplined silence at tense moments. Refusing to chant when cameras arrive. Making protesters look more trustworthy than the people in uniform. All of that actually matters in causing a narrative breakthrough. See, but this is what victory conditions actually look like. And it's not going to be found in the cheering. No, nothing like that. But this is my scorecard on the event. It's a very tangible one. I would give it, this is not the most ideal event ever. It's just enough energy behind it to get it cooking. I would literally give it like a 4 out of 10, but the camera is vulnerable, and that's the aim. That's the aim. Any Democrat that's been looking for, or a leftist that's been looking for an angle at this whole thing, the camera is the most vulnerable it's ever been, and I hope that y'all have a great time with it. This is literally, I'm talking about, if you like the shit posters, this is your day. Like, you could have a ball here.